Hi, I'm Brittany Russo, and I'm going to be talking about blended teaching and learning, an article that I got by Liz Papp. She starts her article just kind of explaining an incident that she saw happen in New York about a classroom that started using blogs to incorporate writing into the classroom. And she just talks about how blending can be a very useful tool in schools nowadays. It can be very helpful to keep kids engaged in the classroom, and it gives them an upper hand on some of the things they'll need to know for when they get to college. Um, they're starting to use a lot of the things they use in normal day life anyway, including things like social media and technology that they already have at their hands, at their disposal anyway, including things like smartphones and laptops, videos like we're making for our presentations currently. So it's important that we can start to learn how to blend these types of things into our classrooms so that students will continue to be engaged in that way. She continues to talk about how this will help push our boundaries of our classroom walls. It can help with problem solving, communication, collaboration, all things that we have discovered that for 21st century learning goals are important. This can help continue learning, and it helps even when bigger events are taking place. For instance, if a school has to close down due to bad weather or a crisis in a town, and the school might be needed to be an emergency situation or area, and they can no longer use it as a school for current issues. They can continue to keep on learning and keep that up to date for them. Some of the tools that could be benefited and used in this situation are things like blogs and wikis, podcasts, and a whole bunch of different management platforms, just to keep class going in case there is some kind of emergency like this. She continues to talk about an instance that she knows from a friend of hers who said that they started using blogs in their AP classes. The teacher for this class was saying that he thought it would be a good idea for them to write these blogs because it helps them gain a different type of writing voice, a different style. And for their AP class, it helps with their AP test at the end of the year. He's quoted saying, "I'm trying to give my students some experience with online learning practices so that when they get to college where online course offerings are becoming more commonplace, they won't feel so out of touch." I believe that that's a really true statement. Most kids know how to use a lot of the things that we would incorporate into these things like blogs and wikis, but do they know how to use them in a way that helps their education, that helps push that process, and develops these creative thinking and these collaborations? We can use all this technology we have for things that are much more powerful than tweeting all the time. I mean, yeah, that's great, but can we push our students to use all this new technology in ways that's more than just social networking? Can we get them to use these things so they'll start thinking more creatively, so they'll start approaching things in a bigger aspect, the world's at their fingertips with cell phones and stuff. So we can really have them push those boundaries. We can make personalized connections with our students. And this does not have to only be at a high school level. We have noticed recently in our new generations coming up that they are perfectly capable of working iPads and working iPhones or any smartphone and just making anything creatively with technology. It comes second nature at this point. So it's important to remember that we can use these tips and these ideas for classes that are not just high school or middle school, but also in the elementary level. Um, the article continues to talk about how this new school that she starts talking about, they start working on projects their freshman or sophomore level years. They continue to work on it just a little bit every year with at least one teacher in their grade. And then by the time that they're seniors in high school, they have a very big extended project that's completed through technology of some type. And he used it for them to extend out towards their community by the time they were done with school. And so he made it be more than just something they're doing in the classroom for their own small personal class, he also pushed them to use it to broaden something in their community, to have an effect on their community more than just what's inside the classroom. And I think that's important because, when you get to college, that's a very big issue is collaboration. Even after college, when you get into the work field, almost every type of job or situation that you're put in involves some type of collaboration. And so to push it into just more than just a classroom but into the community, I think is a really good middle ground there. There were some more examples, for instance, that you can do it in all different types of classrooms. I think sometimes we get stuck on using blogs or wikis or podcasts in an English room, which is perfectly okay. It's great, it can help with a lot of areas, but sometimes we think, how can we use this new technology in classes like math or science? And this example was that they created a math wiki that they could share among their classroom, and it had key vocabulary words and concepts that were about algebra so that the class could constantly get back onto their wiki page, access that when they were at school or at home, and it would always be available to them. So it's important that we broaden our classroom scope on that as well. It can also be very engaging for the students, as I talked about earlier. We all have learned that this new generation coming up, including my own generation, has become very independent, dependent on technology of some kind. And so it's nice to push their limits, to use that new technology on things more than just their standard stuff. Will really push their creative boundaries so that they can make connections between technology and learning and really push themselves. She continues to talk about teacher development and how it's important that as educators we learn how to manipulate this technology into the classroom and bring it in, make it useful, and teach our students that you can use it for many different aspects. Like I was saying, it doesn't have to be just an English thing, it could be for any class that needs it. And teachers can go to workshops and all different kinds of things. There's even just YouTube videos online teaching you how to do something to incorporate it into your classroom. Ideas all over Pinterest. There's tons of things that we can find out as educators to make sure that we can make sure that this is accomplished in our classrooms. There are also series of online courses that you can continue to take, for instance, the one that we're in right now. This is really beneficial to many educators everywhere, and also that then spirals down to our students. So she kind of just wraps up by saying that it's important that we make sure we get all this technology that we have and really use it to our advantage, and we don't just let it slip through our fingers and become only about me. We can use it for our educators, we can use it for our students, we can use it for our communities, and it can be done in any classroom. So it's important that we try and focus on that and really incorporate it into our rooms so that we can really make a difference in our students' lives and keep them engaged by using it. So thank you.